The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Texas Tech and Oregon State on Saturday. We'll have it for you with Optimum Game Day live coverage beginning at 7 a.m. The kick is at 2:30. Last I checked, the weather is going to be around 87 degrees and chance of rain. So I don't think it's not going to be beastly hot, as they say. So should be, hopefully, the rain will stay away, and you'll just enjoy maybe a partly cloudy sky, but now we're looking at a high of 86, Jamie, for Saturday. 17% chance of rain. So I would tell you it's probably not going to rain during the game. Okay.
Now the monsoon hits.
Based on my thumb in the sky, you know, my 17% chance. Hey, it's not going to rain. Okay.
Okay.
I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Just some numbers here that I found interesting. Baron Morton has thrown for multiple touchdowns in each of his last 6 games. That's tied for the longest streak in FBS. Okay. Reggie Virgil, he is a newcomer to Texas Tech. He leads the team now with 3 catches. He has scored a touchdown by receiving in 9 of his last 10 games going back to his time at Miami of Ohio. Texas Tech has scored at least 50 points in each of Morton's last 4 starts. This goes back to the 2024 regular season against Oklahoma State and West Virginia.
Yeah, where he finished the season really strong for football.
Pro Football Focus, they have a lot of nice little numbers. They have credited Texas Tech with 51 total pressures through the first 2 games. This is what we're talking about with the defense, and putting pressure on the quarterback. 18 of those have come from David Bailey and Romello Height combined. So starting to get your money's worth from those 2 guys. You're not going to be able to keep putting those kinds of numbers up because, let's face it, if you had 51 total pressures in your first 2 Big 12 games, whoo, man, you'd be flying high going into the homecoming game.
Yeah, why can't we? Why can't we do that?
You're allowed to do it.
Not against the rules.
No, you're allowed to do it. It's just
difficult against better competition. I think that offensive line for Utah is a really good one. So that's going to be there's no question that's where most feel like the game is going to be won next Saturday is the offensive line of Utah versus the Texas Tech defensive line.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to jump ahead to Utah because we got this tough matchup coming up with Oregon State.
We're going to ban the word Utah. Yeah.
Focused on Oregon State.
Focus on Oregon State.
Yep.
Just trying to go 1-0, Jamie. Just trying to go 1-0 here. The last time that you played Oregon State, this is your little conversation starter, your little tidbit for the guy sitting next to you, the guy sitting in front of you, the guy right behind you. When you turn around and go, "Hey, Mac, did you know?" Okay. Here's your did you know moment. Last time that you played Oregon State was September the 26th, 1959. Tech won at Jones Stadium 15-14. They were down early, 14-0. But here's what's interesting. Bake Turner, who would go on to play for the New York Jets on their Super Bowl championship team, Super Bowl III. He was a running back for Texas Tech. He was a receiver for the Jets. He did do some receiving for Texas Tech out of the backfield. But anyway, he threw a 2-point conversion pass to Kenneth Talkington in the second half, as Talkington had scored from 2 yards out in the third quarter and then added a 2-point conversion. Oh, he threw the pass to Bake Turner. I'm sorry. Talkington threw the pass to Bake Turner.
And we named a school after him.
Yeah.
Just for that pass.
Well, I don't know if he's related.
Is that the end of the story?
I don't know if he's related to the Talkingtons who donated a gazillion dollars to Texas.
He is now.
I just made your story more interesting.
Okay, great. Okay. Thank you. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and here's the thing about Bake Turner. Bake Turner played 3 years at Texas Tech, Jamie. He forgoed his senior year to enter his name into the draft, and he was picked in the 12th round of the 1962 draft by the Baltimore Colts.
He said there's no reason to let the cake bake. I'm heading to the NFL.
Well, he went to the AFL.
AFL.
Okay.
No reason to let the cake bake. I'm heading to the NFL.
I'm done with
AFL.
this. I'm done with this school stuff.
Nobody named a school after me. I'm out of here.
We're not here to play school.
You think there was some radio host that was like, "Yeah, he's never going to make it in the AFL. He should have stuck around another year."
Well, I thought you guys would find that interesting.
When I wrote my Big 12 preview for this week, I did see that we won a nail biter with them in their only other matchup back in 59. 15-14 game. I didn't know that the cake had baked, and I didn't know that we named a school after the quarterback. So that's pretty cool.
There you go. The more you know. The more you know. Hey,
you did that.
Yeah.
I just revised your history there.
You did. That's okay. That's all right. I mean, again, when there's people, Jamie, in the stands that I think look forward to these little tidbits so that they have something to talk to Jack about that's next to them, or Stan that's down the row from them, or Mel that's a couple of rows behind them.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, but we can ignore that Frank guy. He's just annoying. All he ever does is scream at us the whole game.
Frank or George,
what are we doing?
Javier or whatever, I mean, they're scattered all over.
It'd be nice to Javier. He brings the tamales.
You got, all around you. There's people that are dying for little tidbits of information. Dying for tidbits of information.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I don't need to tell you this, but today is a sobering day, coming off a sobering day. Today is September 11th, 2025, and with this day in sports history, here is Jeff McGuire.
1927 is where we'll kick things off. Yankee slugger Babe Ruth hits his 50th home run during his Major League Baseball record 60 home run season in the Yankees' 6-2 loss to the St. Louis Browns at Yankee Stadium.
It's funny, the other night on Sunday Night Football, they honored the 85 Bears, and Chris Collinsworth and Mike Tirico were saying, well, you always talk about defense, you talk about the 85 Bears, and there they are. And then you talk about offense, you talk about the 27 Yankees, and here we are, 27 Yankees.
1956, Cincinnati Reds outfielder Frank Robinson ties a rookie record with his 38th home run of the year. In 85, Pete Rose of the Cincinnati Reds gets career hit number 4,192 off Eric Show of the San Diego Padres. Why is that important?
Show.
It's Eric Show. Why is that
Eric
important?
Show. Why was of the San Diego Padres? Why is that important?
He becomes the hit king,
eclipsing Ty Cobb's record. 1994, U.S. men's tennis. Andre Agassi wins his first U.S. title, beating Michael Stich of Germany 6-1, 7-6, 7-5. And a very happy Jamie Lent was somewhere in New York.
Yes.
There was a very happy Jamie Lent somewhere in West Texas, I think, at this. In 2010, Baron Batch scores twice. Taylor Potts throws 3 touchdown passes, and Texas Tech blocks 2 punts in a 52-17 win over New Mexico.
Nice. Have you been to...
Still in East Texas.
Still in East Texas at that point.
Have you been to a U.S. Open match?
I never have. I've been to the stadium, but...
Not been to a match.
It's at the start of football season, which seems to hamper the possibility of me doing that.
Yeah, I got you. I understand.
Yeah. Very inconsiderate of them. They should move the tournament.
Yes.
Poor timing on their part. Someday.
It is National Hot Cross Buns Day. Basically, like a roll that has the cross on the top of it. When you, I think you slice it so that it opens up a little bit.
Have you ever had one of those?
Oh yeah, they're delicious.
Okay.
They're more of an Easter thing, I think, for my family. Is when I've always had them.
Okay, that makes sense.
Happy birthday to Ludacris, who's 48. Paul Heyman is 60. Harry Connick Jr., 58. Dan Quinn, 55. And Ed Reed is 47. And as Chuck alluded to, on this day in 2001, I don't think I need to go any further on what happened on this day. And that is this day in sports history.
6:48 this morning here on the morning drive. Take your thoughts and comments on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, or the mobile app. The Visual Edge IT hotline is open for you right now at 806-771-0973. I'm curious if it, and I'm going to get you the name here, Jeff. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but the Dallas Cowboys have a player who's wearing number 33 this year. Does that bother you? And while the Cowboys don't necessarily, quote, retire numbers, they have...
Nobody's wearing 22 anytime soon.
They have assigned 33 to other players, including current running back Javonte Williams.
Doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you? Okay.
I mean, they don't retire numbers. That's what they've got the Ring of Honor for. Mm-hmm. There are some that are exclusive for what Jerry thinks of what somebody's going to be in 94 and 88. And,
nobody's worn 8 Aikman or 12 Staubach or 22 Smith or 74 Bob Lilly.
Yeah. But a bunch have worn 88.
A bunch have worn 88.
Really cool.
Yes, I do too. Yeah. Including,
So,
obviously, Drew Pearson, Michael Irvin, and now C.D. Lamb.
and Des Bryant.
I
mean, if you are expected to be of that caliber of player, you get that number when you're drafted. That's what the Cowboys have done with that.
Mm-hmm. And Antonio Bryant.
Okay.
That didn't work out so well.
And we don't talk about the ones that don't work. But yeah, no, it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I don't imagine anybody will wear some of the ones that haven't been worn in quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ted Lilly is safe. I think Emmett is safe. I think Aikman is safe.
Staubach is safe.
Staubach is safe. Yeah. But
I think it's really cool what they do with 88.
I do too. I do too. Have reserved that for the guys that they think are going to be elite receivers for them. So
yeah, I don't have an issue.
Is in your mind, is Irvin the best 88 or is it Drew Pearson?
That's tough because I don't know that I wouldn't take CD over both of them right now. I mean, like, just for what his athletic ability is. I mean, Drew Pearson was phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are comparing your Mount Rushmore of receivers here.
Yeah, right.
I didn't see a lot of Pearson. I saw all of the rest of them. I think I might like CD the most on the list.
Really? That kind of surprised me that you pick him over Michael Irvin. I mean, Irvin and his teams obviously had more success.
Oh, sure. But from just sheer talent, I think I might go CD, but it's close between those two.
Okay.
Especially after his last game.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of.
But it's just one game.
He can still make up for it, though.
It's one game. I think you make a good point that his numbers, when it's all said and done, are probably going to be better than the other two.
Mm-hmm.
It's also more of a passing
league
team than it was then.
It's especially when you consider the Staubach years and even the Aikman years of handing off to 22. And then he also had Alvin Harper, and he also had Jay Novacek. So he had he had a lot of weapons to go to.
Don't forget Moose. You can't forget Moose.
Forget Daryl Johnston.
And Daryl Johnston, right? Yeah, the Moose. So I don't know. It's an interesting thought. It just I just kind of saw that the other day and went, oh, somebody's got 33 on. That's kind of interesting. But it's kind of what I like what they've done with 88. They haven't necessarily done that with other numbers.
Yeah, 88 and 94 are the two that I think they do.
Who wore 94 that I'm missing in my
defensive ends?
Okay.
Charles Haley did.
Charles
Haley did. DeMarcus Ware did.
Okay.
There's been another one that I can't think of off the top of my head. Too tall? No. Wasn't too tall.
No, he was 70.
He was 70.
72.
Yeah, I think 72.
But there's been, they do the same thing with 94. It's 88 and 94, the two they do that with.
Okay. 6:53 this morning here on the morning drive. We'll have the Cowboys and the Giants, the G-Men, on Sunday. Boy, that used to be a great game. And who knows? This may be a great game, but it's not. It's two teams that nobody thinks are going to do very much this year.
I think one that people think will be okay, the Cowboys, just not, a challenger in the NFC and one that people think will be bad.
Yeah.
I think they looked pretty bad in their first game.
And they're
and Daniel Jones, the embattled quarterback, looked pretty good playing elsewhere.
You did. You did. It's funny how that works out, right? Yeah. From time to time. So, yeah, you think about a team like the Giants and where they are and their history. It just goes to show you how hard it is to get a team right. That no matter where you are, no matter what your resources are, you still have to make very good decisions with your personnel and your coaches and your schemes. And it's a razor-thin margin between success and mediocrity and failure. Right? Because in a lot of aspects, you got the Giants playing in the biggest market in the country, and it's been a while since they've been really a threat.
Yeah, even close to a threat.
Yeah.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
With Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. In case you missed it, the Rangers won yesterday 6-3. They swept the Brewers. And for the Brewers, it's their first sweep since the Yankees did it to them to begin the series in late March. And the Brewers were only
begin the season.
Yeah. And the Brewers were only swept once last year by the Philadelphia Phillies. So it's quite a feat what the Rangers just did. The Rangers, since August the 22nd, are Major League best 14-4. They're now 7 over 500. Okay, and they've done this without Nathan Eovaldi, without Corey Seager, without Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, and Evan Carter have been on the injured list during this time period.
Well, I'm sure this is not a popular take. I'll fully admit that. But I continue to say part of the reason that you're a little bit better is that you don't have Adolis Garcia and Marcus Semien in the lineup right now, because those guys were not not hitting the ball
not
well.
Performing, yeah.
And you bring in a guy like Hellman who's, I wouldn't say carrying you, but he did for a couple games this week.
Yeah, he's been terrific.
Yeah.
So there you go. So the Rangers will open up a series with the New York Mets, and Jacob deGrom will start for the Rangers in the opener of that series. deGrom, of course, won a couple Cy Youngs with the Metropolitans, so be a little bit of a homecoming for him. So hopefully he goes out and shows them that he's still got some of that form. So we'll have the Rangers playing this weekend in the Big Apple against the Mets. All right. So Kenny Perry, who is Texas Tech's special teams coach and associate head coach, he addressed the media on Tuesday and was asked about the kicking competition, if it will extend into league play with Stone Harrington and Upton Belafon.
Sure, it'd be just like last year. It's gonna go. We're gonna go until, I feel that someone just kind of loses the edge mentality wise, and because that's what kicking and punting is. You got to have an edge, man. So I'm gonna do the same thing we've always done, and whoever wins it's gonna have that edge, and it could change a couple times, but it's just what we've done, and I'm excited for both those guys. Just keep making kicks.
Help me out. Remind me who kicked
the further
field goal first. Who kicked a field goal first this weekend?
I think it was Stone Harrington.
Okay.
And I think.
Is there a battle? or is he just the guy?
I think there's still a battle.
Hasn't he kicked first both games? Field goals?
Jamie,
I'm fairly certain Stone Harrington was the first.
Yeah.
First guy in game one.
Yeah, and he seems to have been kicking the longer versions too, right? So, it's just, Belafon had one from 23. Harrington had one from 47. Harrington's he did 10 of the 11 kickoffs. And then let me get you for week number 1. I'll see who kicked first. But I don't think they would list.
They are both 1-for-1 in both games.
Yeah.
So literally the reps right now are split down the middle.
So I don't think one's listed over the other. So
as for who kicked first, that's on a different page. Hang on.
7-19. But yeah, I mean and they had thought that this would be settled, I think, by now, or at least by the third game. But it kind of sounds like it's not settled yet. So
okay.
Well, I mean, we shall see. I guess as they say, to see who wins that battle ultimately between Harrington and Bellefonte. I think Harrington has been the surprise that he's, and Ian Hershey, the kicker punter. I think he's not punted yet because Jack Burgess has barely punted. He got to punt a couple of times, didn't punt in the opener, but I think that
they have split the first kick in both games. Each one has kicked first in both games. In each one of them has been the first one to kick in our 2 games. Okay. So they've both gone 1-1. They've both kicked first and kicked second in our 2 games so far.
And then Bellefonte's the one that missed the extra point.
Correct.
And that's when we hung him up by his toenails.
So, off with your head for missing the extra point.
Listen, man, we go to the stands to find people to do that. So yeah, you need to do that around here.
Right. I mean, you've got to make your kicks, all right? And so it's not critical.
Harrington kicked the first 2 extra points in the first game, and then Bellefonte came in for the field goal.
Yeah. So, and Hershey has yet to kick. He has kicked an extra point. He kicked an extra point in the first game against Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Did you mention his name just to prove me wrong?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
That we would never say his name over the course of the entire football season?
No, I had forgotten all about that.
I mean, we don't really think he's a factor in this, right?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I was glad he got to get out there.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's not a factor.
But this is Upton and Harrington.
Yeah, Stone. Yeah. Kind of. Those are. I think that Upton Bellefonte sounds like a very academia type name.
Does sound like a smart guy.
He could be like the president of the university.
Stone Harrington sounds like a football player.
He does. Yeah, sounds like a football player. So we'll see what looks like then. All right. Here's a question that's a hangover for me for you from yesterday. Okay. And I'm just curious. Of the Big 12 games, other than Texas Tech, which ones you have your eye on this week? Of course, there's 2 tomorrow, Colorado and Houston. You'll play Houston after the Utah game. And then Kansas State and Arizona. And you have K-State on the road coming up. The first game is a 6:30 kick tomorrow. And then the K-State game is a 8 o'clock kick from Tucson.
Yeah, so I would say the Friday night games are 2 of the better ones this week. I'm really interested in that Kansas State-Arizona game to see what's going to transpire there. I think Colorado beats Houston easily, maybe by 10, something like that.
Okay.
But I think Kansas State-Arizona, I still would pick at Kansas State at this point, even though it's in Tucson and Arizona's looked great and Kansas State is not. But what we will see there, Pittsburgh and West Virginia, I think is a good matchup.
Yeah, backyard brawl.
Obviously, I don't think either one of them are great, but it's usually an entertaining game. And then the other one, Texas State and Arizona State, the late game on Saturday night. This was like a 3-point game last year. And so I want to see how Arizona State bounces back. I'm guessing a good separation there, 10-14, maybe even more. Because Arizona State is going to be fired up after last weekend. And also they know that Texas State gave them a battle last year. So I think that, again, I just feel like the Friday schedule is the best stuff.
Will you change your mind about Arizona if they beat K-State?
A little bit. Or will I go, man, K-State really is bad?
Yeah.
There's probably going to be a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you'll for sure have your eye on Utah and Wyoming too, right?
Yeah, Wyoming's not. I don't think Wyoming's nearly as good as they used to be.
Okay.
So, or they were a couple years ago when we played them, but tough place to play. So we'll I don't expect Utah to struggle there. What's the line in that game? 23.5.
Yeah, 23.5. So
yeah.
What are we going to learn?
Yeah,
right?
I don't think Wyoming is nearly as good as they were a couple years back.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
But I'm giving you a all expense 3 to 4 day trip.
Okay.
All expenses paid to go watch a Big 12 football game this season that does not involve Texas Tech, or for you, Chuck, Kansas.
Okay.
What game are you choosing to go to? Any game in the Big 12.
Any game in the Big 12. I think
what game would you like to go see?
I think I would go like I think I would like to see firsthand the Holy War between BYU and Utah. I think that would be, Jamie, fascinating. And I've got to see what week. I don't know what week that is.
October the 18th.
Okay. That's the game I want to go to. I want to go to that game just because I think that's a rivalry that I've not been exposed to. It's different. I know nothing about it. Only that when those two teams play, it's one of those throw out the rosters, throw out the records. They just hate each other.
Which is weird since it's called the Holy War.
Right.
Doesn't seem very holy to hate that much.
Right.
I'm torn because I think Chuck's got a good answer. I don't know if I'd rather go see Arizona State or Baylor TCU. This has got to be a rivalry weekend. And I think I'd go Arizona State only because the unfamiliarity with the stadiums. We've seen Texas Tech play a lot at both TCU.
Where is that? Is that game in Tucson?
Arizona, it's in Arizona State.
Okay.
So, yes. Right?
Tempe.
It's in Tempe, sorry. I think I'm going to Arizona State. I don't know that it's going to be as good of a game as Utah BYU or Baylor TCU, but we don't see that rivalry a bunch. And if I watched Utah and BYU play, I would have to watch Utah play. And those people can go suck an egg.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think about being a fly on the wall, just almost like not being noticed and just kind of wondering what the two fan bases are like.
Yeah.
And to just kind of be there. I'd like to be right in the middle where one side it's one team and one side it's the other, right? I just want to be right in the middle. I want to see how they treat each other. I want to see what the atmosphere is like for such a game. And then the place that I'm going at the time of the year factors in. Because, I'm not choosing to go to Colorado in December and sit in the cold. We're not going together, but Chuck and I are at the same game.
Well,
we're not sitting together. We're not going together.
You said all expenses paid. That means I'm getting a box seat with nice glass windows and the whole kit and caboodle here.
Yeah, well, you picked a good spot. I mean, picking going to Arizona in like November, whatever. That's a good spot. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If UCF had a decent game on their schedule in late November, I would have picked that.
Go to Orlando.
I'd like to see what it's like between the Utah fans and the BYU fans and what that's all about. And then I would also like to be in an area where I could go hike. That's why I gave you 4 days. Okay, you could get some sightseeing in. You can do what you want to do. Take in the nightlife. I don't know what kind of nightlife is there for you there in Provo, Chuck. So I don't know how much.
I've been to Provo. Spent the night there. I didn't see a whole lot of nightlife there in Provo.
Okay, well,
I'm sure there's some there. My memory of Provo is going to a restaurant and seeing nothing but barrels of root beer.
Okay.
I mean, just a lot of, well, I mean, it's there's no caffeine in root beer.
Did you go to Root Beer or Us?
We went to this restaurant, this pizza place.
I had no trouble buying soda when I was in Provo last year.
It just seemed like we went everywhere we went was like just like they were like, would you like a root beer? Would you like a root beer? Would you like a root beer? I mean, I like root beer, and I was like.
Not one time was I asked about root beer. They tried to feed me ice cream in the middle of me talking, you know.
We didn't get any ice cream.
Stop giving me cougar tails.
We didn't get any cougar tails.
Yeah.
Fink and I got no cougar tails. We got no ice cream, okay? And their basketball place it's impressive.
What's so funny is they paid such attention to Hax and I to the point where it got in the way and almost drew me off sides. Okay, you and Fink would have loved every bit of that, and Hax and I were losing our minds.
Well, I mean, I kind of lost my mind at the end when they were overly polite, and I'd had enough by then.
Now, so Jamie's going to go hiking when he goes BYU Utah.
Yeah, absolutely. Whichever place it's at, I'll find plenty of places to go hike. That was part of my
either on my way there or on my way back to Tempe. I'll be able to check out Meteor Crater for the first time. Meteor Crater and the Grand Canyon. There's like a split. Like you go left to get to Meteor Crater, you go right to the Grand Canyon. Like if you're in that area, and I always went right. We always went to the Grand Canyon because you go to the Grand Canyon. But Meteor Crater is is on my bucket list of things to have.
Where is it?
It's up by I-20. It's near Flagstaff.
Near Flagstaff.
It's near Flagstaff.
So it's on the
It would be on.
It's not like in the neighborhood there in Tempe.
No, but it'd be the way I would take to get there.
Jamie's been to a football game in Tempe. You went to a Super Bowl there, right?
In Tempe?
Yeah. Didn't you go to the game at Arizona State, the Cowboys, when they played in the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl 30?
You weren't at that game? Okay. For some reason, I thought you were.
I've only been to 2 Super Bowls, one in Miami and one in Arlington.
Okay. Yeah. Well, they played a Super Bowl at that stadium, which is, I mean, you kind of when you look at it today, you go, wow, they played a Super Bowl there?
And you can actually hike a mountain right next to it and look down into the stadium.
Yeah, because you've done that, right?
A couple times.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, what would you do with your extra 4 days?
My extra
drink root beer, apparently.
I'd be tempted to hike the Y.
It take you 4 days to hike the Y?
No, but I mean, maybe a day to think about it, a day to do it, and a day to recover, and then there's the football game.
Then you get back. Okay, I get it now. Okay.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I kind of feel like that we emulate this kind of stuff every day. Cat in the Hat, little Dr. Seuss there for you. 8:02.
Which is not what he thought this song was initially. He thought it was the Can-Can, but that's okay.
I didn't think it was a Can-Can. I wasn't sure what you were doing, but it's okay. 8:00.
It's a very long book.
Anybody that's ever thought about reading Dr. Seuss or Cat in the Hat to your 3-year-old, I mean, you got to have some long wind because you can't just read it in one setting. They'll get bored with it before you can finish. It's a lot of words, Jeff. It's a lot of words, especially for a 4-year-old. That was my experience anyway. And I kind of had a little. Had a back in the day moment with daughter number 2 when I'd read Magic School Bus, and she wanted me to read all the words, even the bubbles. I mean, you start reading the words in the bubbles. I mean, it's hard to stay awake, Jimmy, when you're reading the bubbles, and your eyes might drift a little bit.
Okay.
Falling asleep while reading out loud.
Mm-hmm. I think I've done that before. Because, I mean, your eyes get really tired sometimes. You know, you're laying there and you're reading all the words in the bubbles, and you get comfortable. You know, it's kind of like being in your recliner. You get comfortable. You just kind of start to drift a little bit. Your eyes get heavy, and you're just trying to stay with it. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. You can go to the Double T 97.3 mobile app to participate for that. Also, the Visual Edge IT hotline is open too at 806-771-0973. Chuck, if you think a children's book is long, you should probably stay away from novels. I do. I'm not a fiction guy. I'm a fact guy. So I realize I sometimes contradict that, but I like reading factual books, not fairy tales for myself. Fairy tales are for the kids. I'm not a novel guy. Let's see.
If it helps, Chuck, there's 1,621 words in Cat in the Hat, but there's only actually 236 individual words.
Okay.
They just get repeated a lot.
Repeated a lot. Okay. We get this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line with regard to Meteor Crater. We were so close. Family went to the Grand Canyon when I was 8, so that's 60 years ago. I didn't know about the crater back then. I guess my parents didn't know of it either. Or they knew about it and they just weren't going to go out of their way to do it.
Go
Probably
to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Go to the Grand Canyon.
Juan M. had weighed in, and he said the crater is huge. I have seen it. It is very cool. Juan M. Then somebody else said Meteor Crater is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Highly recommend you going to see it.
It's one of those, if you're only going to go to one, go to the Grand Canyon. It is one of the very few things in life that lives up to the expectation that people give it every single time. The breathtaking beauty of the canyon needs to be experienced.
Okay.
Meteor Crater is a great second trip out to Arizona.
Okay.
But go to the canyon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. It beats what you would expect. Pictures don't do it justice.
Right.
You feel like you're in a picture when you're there.
Then go hike to the bottom of it. Hike back out.
It is very cool.
Okay.
Jeff did it on a donkey.
Mule, but yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. All right, 8:06 this morning here on the Morning Drive. We'll have the Astros and the Blue Jays on the air today from Rogers Center. They're in Toronto. It's 1:35 broadcast time, about 2:10 first pitch. Later on tonight, we'll have the Commanders and the Packers from Green Bay. I got to admit, I have enjoyed watching the Commanders. I mean, I was never I never hated the Redskins. I enjoyed the Redskins when Joe Gibbs was coaching them, and they had the various quarterbacks that they went through, and they were very successful, obviously, with the number of Super Bowls that they won. So I always liked it, but I like this version of the offense. I'm rooting for Coach Kingsbury, and so not that I mean, if they were playing the Chiefs, obviously I'm rooting for the Chiefs, but you know, I want to see the Commanders have some success. I want to see him have success.
I think Jaden Daniels is a very likable guy. He appears to be so far. So I think a lot of people are kind of pulling for them just because they like him. He's kind of the face of their franchise. But for us here in Lubbock, I think that a lot of people are kind of torn a little bit because as Cowboy fans, they've always hated Washington, and now Coach Kingsbury's there, and want to root for him. So
I want them to lose a lot of games, 85-80.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I mean, I don't have anything against them, so I don't have that long-standing hatred for the Redskins or the Commanders or whatever. Somebody says this: the north rim of the Grand Canyon is even better than the south rim. Okay. Also look up Canyon de Chelly, east of the Grand Canyon. Okay. Sean says this: I went to the Grand Canyon, took the family in January 2 years ago, completely covered in fog. I've been to the Grand Canyon and never seen it.
No way. It's terrible.
I'm sorry about that, Sean. I really am.
Oh, man, that stinks out loud.
It does. It does. That's a bad deal. That is a bad deal. So there's football in the city tonight as Lubbock High plays at home over at Lowry Field. So if you were looking for a high school game to go to tonight, you can do that. We have plenty of high school on the air for you tomorrow, including Friendship as they play at home for the very first time. The Friendship Tigers taking on Legacy. So I think they kind of see if they go back to the basics and see if they can play some Tiger football and come up with a victory. Snyder will be Lubbock High's opponent tonight over at Lowry, and that is a 7:00 kick. Shelley's pronounced Shea. Okay. Canyon de Shea. Okay. Thank you for that.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.